So Nunzio, tell us about your experience of 10 days of silence with vipassana meditation.
Well, it was very different because you're walking around and you're interacting with
So
people.
me or you?
Like, I would be walking around in a field, in a hall, in a dorm, and there'd be other people around, people that you don't know, and you're...
People that I don't know.
People that I don't know. It's good, stay on top of it. And you've got to interact. I would have to interact with them, but without speaking. And what I found is everybody has a perception of someone when they meet them. When you meet someone, you would...
Sorry, when who meets someone?
When you would meet someone, when I would meet someone.
Well, you don't really know what happens when I meet someone.
Well, things change. So what would happen
But
is,
I'd love to know what happens when you meet someone.
Alright, so when I when I meet someone, I don't speak to them. You do your own thing. You know, you're having your moments alone.
Sorry, who's having...
I'm having my moments alone.
And who does their own thing?
They do. They do.
Oh, they
Other
do their
people.
own thing, right.
Yeah, everybody's doing their own thing.
Right.
And what happens is you begin to understand. I begin to understand. Let me try and sort of put it in a kind of, in the way that you, I suppose, trying to steer me into sort of saying.
I just want to hear what your experience is.
Alright. So when
I'm
I say
really,
you,
really
I mean,
interested in your
when I say
experience.
you, I mean, well, you and me in a way. So let's just keep
no,
it to
because
that.
you don't know what my experience is.
Okay. Alright. So what would happen is when I meet people, I get a certain feeling of their energy, and everybody has a judgmental sort of mechanism in their mind, which if you do act like you can or you cannot
You're
act
now
upon.
drifting again, okay?
I'm
not interested in your theories. Let me just make this clear, right?
All right.
I make a lot of films,
Yeah.
okay? And I have to choose what I put in the films.
Okay.
And I'm not interested in your theories about everybody, because you don't know everybody.
Okay.
Yeah?
Fair.
I'm really, really interested in your own experience.
Okay.
So if you're having an experience of judgment,
Okay.
I want to hear about that.
Not
About what you think about other people have.
Okay. So what happens is I saw people that when I walked past them, I felt things which I didn't really know how to explain, but created feelings of sympathy, created feelings of wanting to help them, created feelings of wanting to explore them, create feelings sometimes of, seeing, I feel that. And it would just be by being around them, feeling and seeing their body language. It's good, it's making me think. So, what happened during the 10 days, my initial perceptions evolved. And what happened was, in many cases they became more and more evident. I almost began to know exactly what was going on in this person. At the end of the 10 days, so I was silent for 10 days. And at times it was very hard, but it was almost worth it just for the moments when the silence broke. When the silence broke, I was actually quite sad, because it felt like when sometimes when you're when I experience certain realities under certain influences, when those realities start to fade away, they kind of creep back into the everyday reality which we all experience, and it kind of like feels like it's floating away, and that's
So
how
the
the
everyday
silent
reality
world,
that who experiences?
So when I experience a reality which I may be under the influence of a certain intoxicant, and which may be alcohol, it could be smoke, could be whatever, it sort of drifts away. And when the silence was broken, that's exactly what it was like. And that was quite overwhelming for me. But then what was quite interesting was meeting the people that I felt things from. There was one guy I remember when I used to see him, I'd see him and I was like, wow, that's deep, what he's going through. Like, he didn't have to say anything, I just knew. It's so much, I felt it so strong that even when he spoke, even when he walked past me, I got out of the way of the path, because I didn't even want to give him extra thought of having to decide whether to get out of the path or not for me. I said, I will move for you, and brother, you walk past because you got a lot on your plate. I'll stand in the mud. And at the end of the course, I saw him, and I followed him into the forest, because we had a little forest at the back. I said, I've got to go and chat to that guy, because I felt so much that I need to, and it's so powerful that I need to make sure he's all right. So I went in there, and he was like, oh wow, cool, you know, straight away, yeah man, I'm having a really fucking hard time. So I was like, okay, shit, you know, embraced him and everything. So I was like, wow, like, it was so accurate. Then there was another guy, and this other guy, I saw him, and sitting down every day, man, like all mopey, and I thought, poor kid, man. Like at first I wasn't sure if he was a girl or a guy, but the first thing that hit me was that this guy's got identity issues. You can see like he has got like all the weird, funky earrings, like the little Che Guevara hat, star thing, like the revolution thing. He looks like a kid in Camden who's trying to find out who they are in a way, you know, they're like rebelling from their parental identity, and so that's the kind of feeling that I got from him. And when it came to a point where, you know, we can discuss our experiences with others, I was interested to see what this guy was saying. So, but when he spoke, he was like, oh, blah 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 blah, blah with his character. I was like, that's really interesting. But the thing that was really interesting was everything he was saying was bullshit in a way. You know what I mean? It was like he was speaking because he was saying things that we knew weren't true. Because he's like, oh, well, you know, if this was going to happen, I would have done this. And we were like, you wouldn't have done that, you know. You're just saying it because you're looking for approval. So as you're thinking, like, wait a minute, the behaviour of the words, you know, the feeling that the words were creating in a way were the same feeling that you got from just observing this guy. But people might miss that in the words. And words do that. Words create this thing in front of, between people, and it says, this is who I am. And I'm going to package it in sounds, and here you go. So these sounds carry meanings which you have to decipher. But you know, sometimes without realising, I would, yeah, because I suppose in order to see it, you must have it within you too. So you would package your phrases in a way in which build on who you like will misrepresent you in a way who you are, but will represent who you think you are.
Right.
You see what I mean? So that's what was powerful about this
or
experience.
What you want other people to think about you.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, we would like to be seen in a valuable light, I suppose.
Well, you don't know that about everyone, but you might know that about yourself.
Yeah, I would say that would be an accurate statement about me.
Because you see, one of the things that words do, this is what in a way I'm pointing out in this actual interview, is that you're doing it in the interview by saying we. Yeah. You kind of sort of hiding that it's you.
Yeah. I'm taking attention off me in the sense.
And for you to just say, I want people to think highly of me.
Yeah.
Well, how does that feel?
Well,
to say, I want people to think highly of me, and to say it into the camera?
It's not. I don't think it's a question of the people thinking highly. I think it's a question of acceptance.
You want people to accept you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I would be lying if I said no. But I think that's okay in a way. I think that's okay to want to be accepted, because I want to treat people how people treat me, and I want people like vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to accept. So therefore, I want to be accepted. But I understand that you know, it doesn't always work that way. But that's generally through misunderstanding, and words generally are misunderstanding. That's why everybody got on there. Everybody got on. Everyone was cool. Like everyone, you'd be sitting down, and this is another interesting thing, and you'd love this because I've actually observed this in you too. And I thought it was quite funny that you did it once. When we spoke upstairs, and we finished a conversation, and there's always that thing where, you know, there's that moment, and when the conversation's done, you're like, right, we've said what we need to say, and you have to kind of like break away from it, and you're like, so you kind of like don't want to excuse yourself. It's like, sorry, I have to leave. You know, like, oh, you know, cool, we're done now. See you later, sort of thing. So, you know, you'd be sitting at the table with strangers, all kinds of people, not hippies, whatever, like everybody was at these tables, like all ages and interests. You'd eat, you'd share your moment, you'd sit in front of it, there's like the shuffling, you know, it's similar to like what it's like on the tube.
Right.
But different. You're all together on this feeling of togetherness. And but when we spoke, you do this thing where you're like, oh right, yeah, you know, this is our interaction. You know, this is how it went, blah blah blah. But when you're done speaking, you're like, wow, actually we don't have anything in common other than this. So then you're like, I'm like sitting there and I'm thinking, as others were as well. They say, right, so cool. So what are we going to do out here? It's like, right, now the conversation's gone to like we're clinging on to this. But then the
thing is that the perfect moment has come for me to say that I've got to go and get my kids from school. So it's been wonderful.
But can I add one more thing to that?
Yeah.
I was nearly finished. It's like, but why words bind us? Words bind us to people as well. You know, we feel that once we start speaking, like we have to disconnect verbally as well. So let's disconnect.
Well, we're not setting it. Quick hug, I think. Disconnect by hugging.
Yeah, cool. That's a nice one.
Bye.